And so I guess my question to you is this, with respect to, writing Dodgebomb, you had a lot of, I'm really impressed with how you were able to just, differentiate all the different types of personalities that come across from top to bottom, going all the way from field grades all the way down to the lower enlisted. And you just able just to basically find, show like what that spectrum of personality looks like across the board. Like how are you able to just recall a lot of those memories from Iraq as you're putting this book together?
I did keep a war diary for all my tours, so that helps to go back and reference things. But I think I just had such very visceral memories from my first tour and from these larger than life personalities, because most of them in the book are based off of real people, primarily from that first tour, but also, some from later in my career. So, some people may say it was very deft characterization and writing. I think it was also just trying to remember these real personalities and people and just to describe them best instead of creating them.
Right, right. Yeah, because that way people like me, when I read this, when I was reading about, Lieutenant Colonel Gutierrez, right? Like that's a very specific, there's a very specific type of field grade officer that exists in the Army who's very much like that. Who it's like the the amount of times I rolled my eyes just reading about him, it was just it was no surprise to me. I immediately thought of other people that I knew in the Army, and it just seemed like it was a bit of a mixed bag. And so it sounds like your experience with field grade officers wasn't necessarily the best. Is that how you summarize it? Like how do you talk about that?
Yeah. As very cynically, that's how I would characterize my experience with field grades at the end of my Army career. Actually, during the time that Dodgebomb takes place, most of the field grades I run into are amazing. And you'll see there's Major McAdams, who's also based off of a colonel who's in real life, and he was phenomenal. Everything you wanted out of a field grade to support you. I would say the lackluster field grades that I sort of, put into the book are more ones I encountered later, unfortunately, out west in Fort Lewis. And that's probably kind of the reason why, I'm out of the Army to this day. So that cynicism kind of pervades, but, made for some great story writing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, that's really neat that you kept like a war diary. So when did you start doing the war diary?
War diary would be very brief. It would be date and major events. We met with Sheikh, whatever today. We, had to call EOD or there's indirect or something like that, whatever sort of prominent events. But as the tour goes on, I start to put in notes about frustration and, observations and things. So at the very least, it's just sort of a timeline. But there's some of the emotions and feelings still baked into that, which helped then for writing Dodgebomb.